Hello, my friends. Happy and welcome to my vlog Eurovision.blog. Today I have a fantastic guest, Magdalena. She is HR advisor, HR consultant in the specialty for AI. And please introduce yourself, Magdalena.
Hello, Georg. Very happy to be here and thank you for inviting me. I have been watching some of your blogs and now I'm sitting here myself. It's super exciting. So I'm very happy to be here. Thanks again. And yes, hello everyone.
That's
My
great.
name is Magdalena and I am an AI consultant for HR. I am also a coach and trainer, so training HR professionals and HR leaders on the whole AI topic, how to implement this and how to adopt AI tools for the whole HR department. And at the same time, I'm also an advocate for ethical AI, which we will talk about for sure.
Ethical AI is a big buzzword and it's very important. AI is the big black box. We don't know much about it. Everybody is using it. Yeah. What is ethical AI?
This is a very good question. So, when it comes to ethics and when it comes to fairness in AI, and especially in HR, so I will narrow down on the HR topic, then we need to think about the biases that can be in outputs in AI systems. For example, if we are speaking about recruitment, think about some outputs where the AI system is preferring a certain group of candidates. This can be based on gender, on age, on race, or anything else that the system has been trained on. So we are not having a fair recruitment process on this side. And when it comes to ethics, this can harm someone's life, right? So this is something that is very, very important to consider. And whenever I'm doing workshops or trainings on this whole AI adoption, AI systems for HR, I usually like to start with a training on raising awareness on this ethical topic because there is so much to speak about. I mean, I could talk about it for hours. There is a lot of things that we really need to consider here.
So the HR departments, they get now a lot of help through AI that helps to save workload, which is very repetitive. But many people think, hey, if I give my data to the HR department, they put it into ChatGPT and the world knows everything about me. So the people are scared about it. What can you tell us
So
about that?
please don't put any personal data into ChatGPT. When we are speaking about integrating AI systems to HR departments, then I'm not talking ChatGPT. It is really about designed AI systems that are working together with your already existing systems that you might have in the HR department. And those systems need to be developed, right? So this is why those systems also need to have some privacy set up, in terms of data privacy, etc. Of course, you can use, if you are an HR leader, you can use ChatGPT to ask some general questions, general prompts. Hey, please help me design a learning and development plan for, I don't know, a function X with these, and these parameters. You can do that, and this is perfectly fine. But what you should never do, and again, I say don't do it, do not put any personal data. So when we speak about personal data, it is names, addresses, birth dates, and all the personal information connected to your employees or even candidates if we are speaking about a recruitment process. So you should not use ChatGPT to analyze a huge data set that you might have in your HR department. Because obviously ChatGPT belonging to OpenAI, and OpenAI not making a secret out of it because they are saying we are using all the data that you are putting in order to train our systems, which is totally understandable. I mean, imagine if you would have such an AI tool, probably you would do exactly the same. I would do it. How can you train the tool best? You train it with the input because the output you get is what you put in the beginning. So this is why ChatGPT should really not be used for the personal data inputs.
Okay, so that's not only
Of course.
ChatGPT, that's also Gemini
Yes.
and all the others. They share all the data which you put in. So you're talking about specific LLMs which only belong to a specific
Yes.
company and they don't share
Yes.
the data.
Because if you want to integrate AI systems with your existing systems, you need to develop something, right? So you need to have a link between, you will already have some data that you are going to input in the new system. So again, let's stick to the recruitment example because I think this is the easiest to relate for everyone. As a company, you already have on one side, you already have an ATS, you have an applicant tracking system, and you have a lot of data in there. You have several candidates that have applied. You have also the output because you have, marked candidates as hired, for example. And coming back to this bias topic, imagine, let's take, for example, a finance manager role. For the last 5 vacancies in finance, your ATS has in the program that it has hired men. So now you're connected to an AI system that you want to help you recruiting. It is automatically trained with this bias because it says, okay, men are getting preferred for finance manager positions. This is the bias that I'm talking about. So this is a very ongoing procedure that you need to consider when you want to use AI in HR. And you really need to have ongoing effort, a multi-phased approach in order to reduce this bias.
So Gartner, they predict that by 2025, 50% of large enterprises will have deployed AI-powered HR assistants. I don't know why it will be only 2025. I think the big companies already have it. But what are your thoughts on the increasing role of AI in the core of HR functions, like recruitment, performance management, what
Employee
else we have?
engagement,
Employee
employer
experience,
branding, etc.
engagement.
Yes. I mean, it's fantastic, right? Because if we speak about human resources, there is so much AI tools can do for HR professionals and HR leaders. Those tools can free up so much time, taking away all of these repetitive tasks, administrative tasks, in order to be able to free up some time to focus on what is most important, which are the people. Because the people are every company's biggest asset. I mean, I have been working in HR roles for the past 11 years, and I have always been very, very people centric. I love to innovate on HR and I love to have, future oriented tools to work with. But the most important goods that we have are actually the people. And if HR professionals can free up some time with these AI tools, they can focus more on the people. Imagine how much this would increase, the employee engagement, the employee well-being, and all of these facts and figures can be, really increased. So this is why I think it's fantastic that so many companies are considering to have these AI tools helping them, AI assistants, AI agents, swarms, etc. But again, very important to also raise the flag and the awareness towards the risk and challenges that are coming with this. I know many HR professionals are getting like super excited and speaking about, oh yeah, I will have all of these tools, working for me. It's great, it's amazing, and I'm perfectly sharing this excitement. But the very first point to consider here is please take your people on board before implementing any AI tool, and I'm not only talking about HR departments, but about any department in any company, please be aware that you need to take your people on board and that the people need to be informed. What is coming? What is happening? How does this look like? How are we going to implement? What is the testing phase looking like? I'm also always saying that it's better to have a pilot project coming up in the beginning instead of saying, okay, we are super excited and we are getting all of the AI tools at the same time. I would not really do this, because we also need to think about the fact that some people are actually not so knowledgeable when it comes to all of the AI tools, what AI can do, etc. Some people are also fearing what might happen. We have seen it all over the news recently. Many people are speaking about, am I going to lose my job? And this is a serious fact that we need to address to our employees, especially from the HR department side. So we really need to speak to the people. Every company needs to do that and to communicate in the most transparent way and to say, no, the AI is here basically to assist you, but not to replace you. If it is planned to replace you, then please communicate that. Because otherwise, the people will not trust in any future progresses that are coming.
Yes, and the employees will talk to each others, and all the stories will go around, and they will double and triple and get squared, and everybody gets mad and crazy
Yes.
about it, and nobody knows what's really going on. So you also mentioned the employee engagement with AI. So how can HR leverage AI to improve employee engagement and create a more positive work
Yeah,
experience?
so let's take the example of onboarding. So, if you start a new job, we all have been there. You go there, it's your first day, and on the one side, you are super excited because everything is new, what people are you going to meet, what is going to happen. On the other side, you are a bit anxious as well because you don't know what else is waiting for you. You have all these company policies, you need to meet up with so many people, there are so many new processes you need to follow. So, creating a positive employee engagement starts already with the onboarding. It's the very, very first experience that your employee has when joining your company, right? And imagine you have an AI powered onboarding program. This can be, for example, an AI agent that is 24/7 there answering all of the questions you might have. So you don't feel like you are disturbing someone else in their work because all of the other people that are there, they are working, they have their day to day ongoing. And we all know how it is. Sometimes you feel a bit, oh, I cannot just, walk by and ask a question. This can be easily solved with AI. At the same time, there might be some trainings, again, about company policies, which also can be easily done by AI. And it can be very specific to what actually your job is, for example, right? And then there is another point. I was presenting about this recently in London. You can have, let's take the example of a sales executive. You can have an AI program filming what this sales executive is doing by day to day and integrating this in an AI powered onboarding tool where the new sales executive that is starting does not need to sit next to this senior sales guy, but can directly watch from the screen what and how it needs to be done, from how to find the right client to closing the offer. This would be just amazing, right? So imagine how much this would already boost the employee engagement. On the other side, again, when the HR leaders have much more free time in order to have conversations with people. It's always the conversations over coffees that will bring you the best insights about what is actually going on in your employees' heads in the company and what they need, what they aspire. Imagine you have more time for these type of talks because AI is doing your administrative tasks. This is also pushing employee engagement.
Yes. So, knowledge transfer is one of my core competences, and we know that in the coffee break, most of the knowledge will be transferred, and there's a huge knowledge exchange. And it was from Peter Drucker, a big study, and that was very important. So, it's good if the people make a coffee break, talk to each other about everything, about God and the world, the family, and then it will switch over to the job and they talk about what's going on and they will help each other. So that's really very, very important when the people can meet in
Absolutely.
person. Absolutely. But the people there also, they're very scared of AI when they use it. So, but nobody is scared when he gives his data to Apple or Samsung. Nobody cares about it, or if they give it to Facebook or Instagram. But if they say, oh, I give the knowledge to an AI system or to my company, oh, I'm very scared now. Is there anything the people should know, what they can do, how they should handle it? Can you give here any advice?
So, yes, that's the fear that I was talking about, right? So, some people might fear it because they don't know much about it. So, the best way to be less scared or to have less fear is, of course, to educate yourself on it. So, there are so many free online courses even out there, and so many great people you can connect with to ask all of the questions you might have in order to address this. but at the same time, educate yourself, start reading, do some research on it. And on the other side, as I said in the very beginning, please do not enter any like personal or sensitive data, because I think this is probably something what we cannot predict for the future. We cannot say where this is going to go. We cannot say what's going to happen with the data that we have entered today in 5 to 10 days of time, years of time, I wanted to say. So we don't know what's going to happen. So it's always good to be a little bit skeptical. Don't fear it. Don't be scared saying like, I don't want to have nothing to do with it, because this would be a pity. There is so much amazing stuff that can be done here. But I think a good source of being skeptical is actually quite good.
That's very important. In every case, you have to be skeptical, and Web3 is a huge possibility for human mankind. Also, VR, AR, and metaverse, it will
Yeah.
also help a lot. And AI is something the people they can use really very, very quick. Do you also have any bad examples for AI?
Bad examples. I have many bad examples I could speak about, but I don't want to scare the people even more off. No, but yeah, I can give you an example for some years ago, and I think most of HR professionals will know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to name the company, but it's a quite known scandal in a huge company that has been using an AI recruitment tool where exactly happened what we have discussed. It had historical data bias. It was a pre-trained model that already inherited some bias, and it would only make bad hiring decisions, which led to the fact that a lot of candidates were not considered that had amazing working experience, which would harm the company, but on the other side also harm the candidates as well. So this is one example. There are much more of these as well. But again, it's important to raise awareness here. And the most important part is to understand that AI depends on human knowledge. So, yes, artificial intelligence is quite clever, but it wouldn't be without the humans. And it's always important to do some auditing on a regular basis, also to have a regular feedback loop, to have a very diverse teams that you are including in this audit. So again, speaking about gender, race, age, different stakeholders need to be involved. Let's stick to the recruitment tool example. Let's not only take people from the HR department, but also other stakeholders, which are usually also the hiring managers, right? This can be people from supply chain, from finance, from marketing. Make this team as diverse as possible, and then always challenge the decisions that the AI tool is making. So have a look at what is the output, for whom has the AI tool decided, and who would the human actually decide for. And against this, the right decisions can be made, right? So it's very, very important to have these regular and ongoing audits. I'm always saying in my workshops and trainings, when people are asking me, oh, great, we will have one audit. No, this is not one audit. And this is not, I'm one time training the AI system, but it's an ongoing process. So companies need to be aware of the fact that if you start to use AI, it's really something that you have to work with for the rest of your corporate life. You always need to monitor those tools and be aware of the fact that bias can always occur.
Yeah. When you monitor the decisions and you audit it, what were the decisions human made, what were the decisions AI made, you can compare it, and maybe AI was better than the human decisions. This will also hopefully
Absolutely.
happen. And it's not always AI who makes bad decisions from HR department if they don't give feedback, if they say, yeah, we will call you back next week and they don't do it. So human make also a lot of failures and a lot of mistakes. And so we also have to excuse AI
Absolutely.
in this
Thanks
case.
for being an advocate for AI systems, Georg. No, but that's perfectly true. And I mean, you have just mentioned it by yourself. Not receiving any feedback, I call you back, then not getting this call. I mean, we have people in the pipeline that are looking for a job, and people are hoping for any kind of outcome, either positive or negative, but ghosting candidates is really a quite bad thing to do. So here again, AI can help. It can schedule all the calls for you. You don't need to go into Microsoft Outlook, manually type in every single candidate you need to call back. This can all be done by, for example, AI agent, and frees up a lot of time, especially also automating the feedback emails. Again, if you have spoken to a candidate directly, I would always prefer to receive like a direct response from a human being. But if we start with companies that are receiving thousands of applications, and this will every candidate understand, of course, somehow they need to have some automation behind. And then, of course, they will automate the rejection emails, the interview invite emails. And this is a perfect example on how AI actually can boost our productivity.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a lot of input now from you regarding AI for the HR department, also about AI for the people who apply for a new job. Also, let's come a little bit back to this for the people. If you can give any advice to them, as you mentioned, the people should make courses, make trainings in AI that they know how it works, how they can use it. There are so many free trainings out there, also offered by the big companies. How do HR departments see the development, and do they like it if people have knowledge in AI when they apply for a job?
I think this really depends on the job. So I have seen a trend that more and more companies, and also the clients that I was speaking about, they are looking for a certain understanding of AI. So at least a basic understanding of AI, which I think is good, right? Because again, then we are coming to the fact, okay, it is a hype at the moment, and it is something we need to be aware of. So I think it's good if you have a basic understanding of AI. And HR departments might look at this, but again, this really depends on the job itself, right? So if we are speaking about some management and leadership roles, I have no doubt that AI is definitely something you need to bring as part of your skill set. If we are speaking about entry level roles and the younger generation, I think they naturally already have it. But then if we are looking at other, positions, I don't know, maybe not in a management role and so on, then it's something that also can be offered by training by the company, for example. So it's not a killer criteria,
Yeah.
I would say, but it will become more and more important for the future.
Magdalena, when the people are onboarded, they work now a long time for the company, they are good employees. Learning. Is learning a big topic for AI in the companies?
It is. It definitely is, Georg, because learning and development is one of the most important HR practices, actually, if it comes to employee engagement, what we spoke about, and also the employee well being, because people nowadays are demanding a different type of career. They are not satisfied with their job until they are going to retire, but they really want to grow within the company, and this is where learning and development comes in. And we also no longer can work with the one fits all approach, because every individual has different aspirations, different ideas about their career, where they want to go. So it's very important to have tailored and individual learning and development plans in place. And imagine now how big your learning and development department needs to be if all of this is done manually for each and every employee in your company. Even if we speak about a mid-sized company, we already have hundreds or even thousands of employees. So it's going to be quite tough. It's very, very time consuming, and especially it's a lot of budget that we need to invest. So if we speak about AI systems here that can help, AI agents, as I mentioned, it's simply amazing. Those AI systems, they can create basically in minutes tailored learning and development plans for people depending on where they are at the moment, based on their current skill set and where they want to go. So you just need to put in those two type of information. This is where we are at the moment, this is where we want to go. Please create an individual development plan for. etc. And in minutes, you already have it designed. And this plan then can, of course, contain on site training, online training, e learnings. It can also contain, I don't know, maybe networking, whatsoever, traveling maybe to a different location. So many things that can be done here where employees are getting very, very, very thankful about, right? Because they see, oh, this is so individual for me and this is something that I really want to work on. If I think back in the time like 10 years ago, okay, you have a workshop with your company and then all of the employees sitting together in one room. There is a coach, there is a trainer speaking about a certain topic. I know that communication was always a very famous one. Let's have a training on communication. Out of, I don't know, let's say you have 20 people in the group. Out of 20 people, 3 are already completely out because they have the feeling that they are quite good communicators. The others are completely bored because they say, I'm not communicating to anyone, so why should I benefit from this training? And the rest will half or half maybe, join, not join, be engaged. So you see where the problem is and where the problem comes from. And I think here we really, really have a great advantage with AI tools that can help.
Okay, so you are here to help the companies to give them advice how they should implement AI, for example, for training and education. So you help them to make internally a system how they will do the training and education for the people. But for this, they also use other resources like online trainings. This must not be only done by the AI. Is
Yes,
this correct?
absolutely. Absolutely.
So you help the companies that they make a good AI system, and this AI solution will look for the best education for the good people, that the people will stay along with this company and share their knowledge with the company.
Hopefully. I mean, this is the idea behind that, right? And it always depends on the company. So before I start to work with a client, obviously I do a intake of the current situation. So first there is usually a quiz to answer, okay, where are you at the moment? What are your aspirations for the HR department? Where do you want to go? There are some companies that want to implement AI systems for a whole HR department, for all of the HR practices. Other companies are picking some of them, like, for example, talent acquisition, learning and development, and saying for the rest, we will stay without AI at the moment. So at the moment, I have a client in the US. They are looking at implementing it for the whole HR department. I have another client in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia. They are looking at only learning and development, which is because they are saying we want to try with this one and then we want to move forward. It always depends on where the client actually stands, what their vision is, and what their idea is of where they want to go. And this is where I come in and help them. I mean, I'm not a developer myself, Georg, don't get me wrong. I'm not the one that is developing the AI systems. I'm basically training on how to use them, how to implement them, and the best ways to sync them with their existing systems, to link them, and also again to raise awareness on possible biases and how this can be worked around.
That's very good. And you mentioned the company in Middle East. They use now training and education as their pilot. They see how it is working. If it is good, then they will roll it out for maybe the complete HR department and then roll it out for the entire
Yes.
company. And we know in the Middle East, they are very open to AI. They are investing a lot in AI, so they will be far ahead of Europe in the future. Europe is not very strong in AI, and this will be a big disadvantage for all countries in the European Union. So, yeah, we have to head on to learn it a lot, and that's very important. And as you mentioned about the vision of the people, Magdalena, this is the core question of this channel. What is your vision? Why are you doing that?
So my vision, Georg, it's quite a broad vision, and maybe it might seem a bit unrealistic, but I still do believe in it. My vision is that we put the people really at the top of our priorities, which means that my vision is that more and more companies on a global level start to use AI to really free up time, to have enough time to concentrate on their people, on their human beings. in order to, yeah, be very people centric, and that the human is always going to be in the center. This is my vision. I really want companies to see how they can boost their productivity, how they can free up their time with AI, but at the same time I want them to be aware of all the ethical issues. And in an ideal world, if we speak about my vision, then there are HR tools that are not biased, everyone is using it, and people are having actually human interactions and letting the machines or the AI do the administrative stuff.
That's really very good. Thanks a lot, Magdalena. And to put the people on top of the priorities, that's very important. And these companies will be the winner in the long-term run.
Yes.
And yeah, if they start to use AI to free up the time of the people, that they can do a work where they have to use their brain, where we are now ahead of
Yeah.
machines, and that's very important. Yeah, thanks a lot, Magdalena. That's really very important, very good. And for you all, please click the subscribe button and also the bell that you get reminded for the next one. One of the last interviews, it was with Adnan. He makes branding. That's also very important for the companies. And if you combine a good branding of the company also with AI, communicate everything very transparent, as you mentioned, Magdalena, that's very good. And this will be the winners. So what can you recommend to the companies how transparent they have to be in the future with AI?
So the transparency goes back to the people again. It's very, very important to take your people on board. Please start with your people first, always. There is no compromise on people. So the most important point here is to communicate everything in the most transparent way to your people, to take them on board, to update and upskill them on AI tools. So do everything that your people already have the basic understanding about AI. So in order that you can actually move ahead and implement all of these tools, and that at the same time the people are happy and feeling confident while using them.
That's really good, quick and easy. I hope the people will understand it and implement it. So if you have any questions regarding AI and how to implement it, please contact Magdalena. She will help you. Also click the subscribe button and click the bell that you get an information when a new series is here. The last one, it was with Adnan. It was really fantastic. It's about branding and the combination of branding and using AI and a good transparent communication. That's really very good for a company. This will be the winners. And yeah, before the company starts implementing AI and the company contacts you, Magdalena, where will you start working with the company? What do you suggest for them? What is a good point of start?
The very first point of start is speaking about the advantages that AI can actually bring to them, but at the same time, the risk and challenges. And I always start speaking about the ethical AI implementation. This is the most important point for me. We really want to build fairness around AI systems for all employees, for all candidates, for all people involved. So I usually start with a training about this. And if a company tells me that they don't want this, then I usually do not work with them. So this is something that belongs in my core and is also connected to my values. So I will always start with raising awareness about the ethics in AI, and then we can continue to speak about how to actually implement the tools, because I really want to make sure that everyone is aligned and everyone knows what we are talking about, and that the people understand that there are some certain risk. Even if they are super excited about what is possible, I want them to slow down at the beginning and to understand also what challenges could be faced.
That's great. That's very important. And yeah, then the people they get trust and
Yes.
confidence when you implement the AI solution. And this in combination with the training and education of the people. Here, the metaverse gives very good solutions. There are also good companies who can help you out there. And yeah, if you combine it with AI, this will be a big advantage for the companies. Is there anything for the companies? Do they need certain size that they can use AI in HR?
No, not really. It's easy if you have one person in HR. For example, if we are speaking about a very small company, then you only have one person to train on, right? And it's going to help a lot because this one person is probably draining in all of the administrative and repetitive tasks. But on the other side, we also have big multinational companies where we have HR teams of 80 or hundreds of people. They can also benefit a lot from these tools. So, no, there is no ideal size. The most important is that the people are on the same page when it comes to the usage of AI and that they actually want it. So, if the people are not happy to use it and someone from the very top is just saying, okay, we are going to do that, then it's going to be difficult as well. You really need to have the people aligned. That's why I'm talking so much and repeating myself about this clear communication and transparency. But I would say to the companies, please make sure that your people are ready for that and that they actually want to use all of these tools and do not just, run them over with all of the great innovative ideas, but speak to your people first.
Yes, that's very important. Thanks a lot, Magdalena. And the people, they will know it, that it is really important. Everybody is using now AI. Most of the times you don't know that you're
That's
using
true.
AI. And it's now in our everyday life here. And also in the HR department, it will be more and more. And if you don't have it now, please contact Magdalena. Contact details are here below, and she will help you a lot. Thanks a lot,
Thank you so
Magdalena.
much, Georg. It was a pleasure talking to you and very much looking forward to see what the future will bring for HR and AI. Thank you so much.
Magdalena, you mentioned you're not a developer, but why are the companies contacting you that you consult them in implementing or how to implement AI in
That's
HR?
a very good question, Georg, and I was asking myself exactly the same, but the answer to this is actually very simple. So I have been in HR for the past 11 years now. Ultimately, I have been working in global metrics organization, leading teams, remote, on site, and being responsible for all the HR practices that you can think of. So, talent acquisition, employee engagement, employee retention, talent development, learning, planning, budgeting, and so on. And I actually speak their language. So I perfectly understand if I come to a client's place and if I come into the HR department, I exactly understand their pain points. I know what they are doing by a day-to-day basis, on a day-to-day basis. I know the challenges that they are facing. And again, I speak their language. So it's very easy for me to translate all of these super technical things into actually the language of an HR professional. And this is why my clients like to book me because I really understand what they are talking about. And the developer comes in at the end, right? So I have a fantastic team of AI solution architects working together with Gen AI agency. They can make all of these things happen. So this is the, let's say, smallest problem that we have. But understanding the client's language, this is the first thing to do.
Absolutely, that's perfect. Thanks a lot, Magdalena, for being that great
Thank you.
translator.